friends around the world. I'm all bundled up because I just getting over the flu or a sickness. I don't know what it was because I don't go to doctors unless my body tells me to go to doctors, and I didn't feel like going to doctors, so my body said just stay in bed. I was in bed for like 3 or 4 days straight. I went back to work yesterday and I felt okay, but I'm just still getting over it. I slept a lot last night. I'm making a video about this book, Dan Brown, The Lost Symbol. I'm almost finished with the book. There, I've never read a Dan Brown book, although I did see the movie. What was the movie? The Da Vinci Code. I like the movie. All my friends who read the book said I should read the book because it's better than the movie. But anyway, I haven't yet done that. I only read this book because I don't read that many novels. My bookshelf, which you can't see over, I don't want to turn the camera. I have mostly fiction books. Sorry, I said that backwards. Fiction is not factual. Faction. I read more faction than fiction. That's what I should have said. Non-fiction. That word really pisses me off. I don't know whoever frickin' made that word fiction and non-fiction. I just fictitious. Okay, it's fictitious. It's fiction. Anyway, there should be a better word than non-fiction. Non-fiction sounds like something's not, which is anytime you use a negative statement for what is you're negating what you're trying to talk about. So I don't really like using a negative non-fiction anyway, but that's the way the English language works. And until I reform the whole English language like I did back in the 1600s, we'll just have to keep it like that. So I read more non-fiction books than I read fiction books, even though I don't like that word. Okay, because I don't really even know if they're fiction or non-fiction, because I don't even know if I'm alive. I don't even know if these bubbles around me are freaking real, or these roses are real, or this whole reality. If I really woke up this morning, or I've been sleeping for fucking 50 billion years and every day is just a fucking holographic matrix I live in, I don't really know. I have no proof of anything. And all the scientists that believe they have proof of anything are fucking full of shit because they don't have proof of anything. But anyway, enough of that. In this book, at about page 30, I can't find it now. I had to go look it up online. I'm going to go online now to the page. This guy says on anthonyuu.wordpress.com. He's a guy in the Unitarian Universalism. He reads about On Religion by Dan Brown. So I got to the part in the book where it says the ABC, which is at the beginning of the book. ABC definition of religion. And I never heard of this. I took world religion back in when did I first take world religion? Back at Santiago College? No, I can't remember which college I took it at, because I went to 7 different junior colleges over a 10-year period throughout the 90s. I was just listening to Bert something, this naked comic, and he says, I went to college. He went for 7 years. I went for 10 years before I went to university. He said, I went to college more years than grunge was around. Well, I did the same thing all through the 90s. From 1990, probably 1991 to 2001, so 10 years before I went to 2001 to 2005 to Soka University of America and graduated there with honors. But anyway, I did take a lot of religion classes. I took a lot of philosophy classes. I took a lot of all different stuff. But I remember I took world religion. And now if I remember right, it was at Orange Coast College. And the guy who taught the class was some old guy. He was funny as hell, but he was kind of stupid too. I didn't like anything he said, but anyway. And he took me to his office and he goes, look, I got a Gohanzen too. And he had a Gohanzen in his desk. And I found out that my brother's ex-wife, which at the time I was taking the class, I think they were still married, was the one who introduced him to Sogugaka and got him his Gohanzen, and he had it in his fucking drawer. And I said, can you put that in a case? So I gave him a cloth to roll it up in. And I said, can you keep it a little nicer than just throw it in your drawer? And anyway, I don't know if he ever did that, but that's up to him. That's his life. I just know from my dad, my real dad ripped up my mom's first Gohanzen, and it says on the side of the Gohanzen, I can't read the freaking language, but it says something like, your head will be split into 7 pieces if you do something to the votary of the Lotus Sutra. So whether that means ripping up the Gohanzen or not, my dad, his head was definitely in 7 pieces or more. He's freaking way spaced out because he named me after Timothy Leary, is all into LSD. Yes, I know you guys always say I go off on tangents, and you always don't go off on tangents. Well, I fucking love to go off on tangents. So if you don't like watching my videos, fucking turn it off because I'm gonna go off on more tangents than you fucking know. Anyway, we're back to the ABCs of religion. So this definition of the ABC of religion that's in this Dan Brown book is assure is A, B is belief, and C is convert. So I can't remember the exact quote. Religions assure salvation. There it is. Okay. Religions believe in a precise theology, and religions convert non-believers. Okay, so I don't believe this is true completely. Otherwise, all the religions that don't convert people, because the professor that's giving this, Professor Langdon, he's giving this speech. He's trying to say that the Masons are not a religion, which I don't believe they're not a religion. All people who have any belief system or any set of practice or any set of rituals is a religion. So this definition doesn't apply. I would say there's two types of religions. There's religions that are all-embracing, which try to take in all people, like Buddhism, Christianity. Everyone's open. Everyone's welcome. So they'll convert others. And there's selfish religions, like Judaism. No, it's only for the chosen people. We're the elite people. If you're not a chosen one, you're not allowed. Or the Masons or any other secret society who says, no, it's only for the people who are intelligent enough and in the know enough to be a part of our club. And I might be intelligent enough or in the know enough, but I've never been invited to their clubs. Actually, I went one time to a Masonic lodge because I had a crush on this girl, and all the guys in their preppy fucking cardigans were looking at me like, who's this guy we've never seen in our group before? And they were all giving me these fucking dirty looks, and I finally just, I was young at the time. If I went now, I'd probably fucking told them off because I'm like that now. But anyway, I was just really feeling uncomfortable about this whole thing, and they were all rich people, and I was poor at the time, and I was driving in my freaking, actually the car I was driving at the time, it was the first car my grandma gave me, which was a Prius, Ford Prius, which actually blew up when I was driving one day with a bunch of kids back from brass band practice. Anyway, that's a long time story. So I don't want to go into that because you know I like to go off on tangents. But what was I talking about? What the fuck am I talking about? I'm talking about religion. Okay, the ABCs of religion. So there's these groups that are elitist that say, oh, it's only for the super rich. It's only for the people in the families of people who are Masons or whatever the fuck they are. So there's two types of religions. But they assure salvation. The Masons assure if you follow their beliefs, if you're one of their family members and you're one of their rich elite people, then you could be assured salvation, which is enlightenment, or Illuminati means to be illuminated, to be enlightened. You'll be able to, whatever they believe they're going to eventually be able to become super illuminated beings or whatever. When that is, I don't know their religion, but that's their religion. Okay, so they have a theology. They have a set of beliefs. It's all ritualistic bullshit, which is basically all in this book, which is, I think, is a bunch of crap. And he says if this got out to the general public, everyone would freak out because these are all top-level people in the Senate, in the Congress, and in the White House, in Supreme Courts. They're all part of these fucking crazy men cabals who do all these fucking crazy rituals and shit, which is true. We would all freak out because they're fucking insane. Okay, so anyway, I don't have, even though the author or the main character has a good feeling towards the Masons, I don't have a good feeling towards the Masons. Maybe because that one day I was invited to a Masonic lodge by a girl I had a crush on. I can't even remember who it was. I think she was where did I meet that girl? Maybe it was my first year of college back in San Diego. So maybe I wasn't 17. Maybe I was 20. Because I remember I wrote my first longest poem at the time. I went outside on Sunset Cliffs and I wrote this long poem right when I left the Masonic Lodge just because I was so disgusted by the feeling I got from these guys who were staring at me like, you don't belong here because you're obviously not wearing a fucking cardigan and you're dressed without your tweed, whatever they were wearing, like fucking, it was back in the 90s, early 90s, so they were wearing some kind of pants that looked like they were at some prep school pants or something like that. And I was wearing, I don't know what I was wearing. Maybe I was wearing jeans. I can't remember how I dressed back in the 90s, but anyways, I wasn't dressed like them, and they obviously didn't like that I was there, and didn't like that obviously I was invited by this really cute girl. Maybe she was a college, I don't even remember who the fuck I was invited by, but I don't think I ever hung out with her after that. I didn't want to be part of, I guess at that time, someone who was in a Masonic lodge. I think if I would have met a person like that now, I would have been very curious, like, okay, and I would have like infiltrated the system and act like I was one of them, and I'd dress like a preppy boy and go there. Yeah, I'm from the lodge in Claremont Mesa or something. I would have made up a bunch of shit, but anyway, at that time I wasn't that clever. I didn't know much about Masons. I was really turned off. Okay, so getting back to this definition. So if this ABC definition is the definition of religion, I would say that access consciousness is a religion because it assures salvation, which it ensures the salvation from being in the human program called the FAT program, the program of human approximation terminus, which is what all of the access clearings help you to get out of being faking that you're a human, because if you're in access, you're not a human, you're a humanoid, which, by the way, I'm going to make another video. I made another video about human and humanoid. You're going to have to go find that under my access videos. But I'm going to maybe I'll just do a two-part video on this because I'm already going off on so many tangents. I love to cover 17 subjects at a time. So I might just cover this, the difference between human and humanoids with access and Sokogakai, which I think I will. After I get done with this, this is the two-part thing. We're going to talk about access and why access is the Sokogakai for humanoids, and Sokogakai is the access consciousness for humans. To be continued. I just given you a little segue. What's the next thing? Okay, back to this belief. So access consciousness does assure your salvation from thinking you're a human when you're not a human, and freeing you from all the human programs of culture and all the bullshit lies that culture teaches you to keep you from being an infinite being you truly be. So that's the salvation. They have a belief, although they say all beliefs are limitations, so they don't believe in any beliefs. But they believe, and they don't call it beliefs, because, so this week we have to change the definition of what belief is. So for them, belief is a limitation, and I do believe all beliefs are limitation, as I say believe. They call it having awarenesses, and awarenesses are fleeting. They come and go. So you might have an awareness right now that the sky is blue, and actually if I look out the window now it's white. But I might close my eyes and a minute later have the awareness that the sky is blue, and I might open my eyes and it might be blue, because the sky changes like that sometimes in Japan. But a lot of times on this side of Japan it stays white or gray or dark black. So I'm lucky it's white. That's as white as it's gotten in a long time, because usually it's black. Gray. It's really white today, which is cool. It means it's almost sunny. Cloudy, but not so dark cloudy. Okay, so that's what awarenesses are. And perceptions. You perceive things and you know things. So instead of believing things, which is the pretense of you knowing them, you just know them. So they have knowledge, they have wisdom, they have knowing. So you can say belief or you can say knowing, whatever. It still follows this B. Convert. Yes, they try to convert others. They try to find people who are humanoids and who would understand that they can free themselves from all the human programs and not be a walking zombie like most of the humans on this planet, and destroy the earth like most of the humans are doing, because it's the humans that are destroying the earth, not the humanoids. The humanoids are always looking for what else is possible and how they can correct themselves and how they can improve themselves. So they do try to convert. They just don't try to convert everyone, because, as I said, there are religions that, like the Masons, are not so open in converting everyone. On the lower part of that would be access consciousness as a religion, because they don't try to convert humans, because basically if they talk to a human, and you can tell a human right away, because a human doesn't have any questions. They're like, no, I know everything's right. No, I know I'm right. You're wrong. That's the basic human point of view. Humanoids are always like, oh, there might be something else possible. Oh, I might be wrong. Okay, I'm open to change. I'm open to something new. That's a humanoid. So if you're open to something new and you're listening to it, you're probably a humanoid. I don't think any humans listen to my channel, but maybe they do. Okay, so the difference, I would say, Sogo Gakkai. Let's go to Sogo Gakkai. Is Sogo Gakkai a religion? Is Buddhism a religion? People say, "Oh no, it's not a religion. It's a philosophy." Well, what the fuck's the difference? Just because people don't like the word religion, and religion connotates the notion of a god, but in this ABC definition, there is no definition or belief in God. Theology, it says a belief in a precise theology, which, okay, that can be anything. It's just a set of beliefs that are somehow recorded down, unless they're one of those religions that only go from mind to mind. The secret Mahakashyapa took from the Buddha from mind to mind, and it was never written down, and that's the orally transmitted teachings called Zen. But anyway, that's a whole different thing, but that still is theology. Okay, so Sogo Gakkai and Buddhism is a religion based on the ABCs, if this is the definition you want to use. Once again, all definitions according to Access Conscious, and I do believe, and I don't have beliefs. I have the awareness, that's it. Okay, I have the awareness that that is a good tool to play with, that all beliefs are limitations, so I don't have any beliefs. So I have the awareness that, and I just went totally off track on what I was thinking, so I'm going to just scrap that. So the ABCs, Sogo Gakkai, Buddhism, assures your salvation, assures that you're going to overcome your negative karma and you're going to attain Buddhahood in this lifetime. Not when you die, not in some future timeline, but this lifetime now, as you are. So you don't have to change who you are. I have this bump still on my eye. I was working on that. I got the bump off the top of my head. But I don't have to change this bump on my eye. I can be a Buddha right now. Actually, I am a Buddha right now because I'm doing this video. This morning I wasn't a Buddha that much because I was asleep, and I wasn't astral projection or lucid dreaming. When I'm astral projecting or lucid dreaming, I realize I'm a Buddha again, and then I can do whatever the fuck I want in my dream. I haven't done that in a while, which is maybe why I got sick, so I would sleep enough to be able to do it again. Lately I've just been too busy. Okay, we have a belief, we have a set of theology, which is the Lotus Sutra. And the Lotus Sutra's commentary is based on the writings of Nichiren Daishonin, which is about 4,000 pages. But it's so condensed, it's actually probably way more than that if it was written in regular, normal page style. It's like Bible size, 2 Bibles. And we convert others. We try to introduce people to Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, to overcoming their karma and all that stuff. Okay, so that's a religion if we use this ABC definition. That's what I was trying to get off on that tangent. All definitions are limitations, so take this definition for what it is. This is just what I found from this book. I don't believe in half the shit this book says about Masons being good, even though they do all this crazy practices, because I think it's those crazy practices that cause us to do fucking ritualistic killings in other countries and do all the shit that we're doing, because they're all fucking Freemasons who run these huge cabals, and they're all Illuminati, which is the overarching cult that's above the Freemasons. If you get to the 33rd degree, you're probably into the Illuminati now. Okay, but this guy, Anthony, who wrote this blog, he says he doesn't like the definitions. He prefers the definition used by Unitarian Universalism. And this is the first time I read this just yesterday morning. I was going to do the video yesterday, but I was feeling still a little under the weather. So he says EMC, and this is the first time I've heard of this, but this is what I guess they use in Universal. I can't even say the Unitarian Universalism. I know I went to some of their meetings for protest war speeches and stuff, but I don't get in any religion that believes in gods or believes in powers outside of themselves, because I'm a Buddha from time without beginning. Just like Access Consciousness believes I'm an infinite being. I've always been an infinite being. It's just what I gotta, all the pretenses of beings I've created to keep myself from being an infinite being, I gotta get rid of all those, which is realize that I'm the true Buddha from time without beginning. I've always been. Okay, so what is EMC? No, is it yes, EMC. It's not Run DMC. It's not a rap group. E is envisions. Where does it say? Okay. Our religion envisions, a future in which people respect the interdependent web of existence as well as the inherent worth and dignity of every person that dwells within it. Okay, so if this is their definition of envisions. Oh, here it is. Unitarian Universalism envisions a transformed world. Soka Gakkai does that. So does the Freemasons. So does the just their vision is a little bit different, and all visions actually can be fucked with. So I'd rather saying I see it, envision it. I would rather say I perceive it, which is much more powerful for me. Anyway, I don't want to go off into that tangent again. I did that on another video. Okay, what does the M stand for? They map. They map the way there. So I don't know how they map the way there, but maybe it's their belief in God. I don't know, because I don't know much about Unitarian Universalism. And C, challenges people to be inner-directed and authentic in their spirituality. Okay. We don't, in Access Consciousness, they don't use the word spirituality. In Buddhism, I hardly ever hear that word spirituality either. I don't know, because that word has a fucking negative connotation to a lot of people who find themselves doing Buddhism or finds themselves doing Access Consciousness, which I find myself doing both, because I find they're the same thing. It's just taught in a different way. So spirituality, the definition here, why we don't, I never hear this word much in Buddhism or in Soka Gakkai. Spirituality is a broad concept with room for many perspectives. In general, it includes a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves, and it typically involves a search of meaning in life. As such, it is a universal human experience, sometimes something that touches us all. Okay, this is this spirituality. It just sounds so fucking highfalutin. That's why probably we don't use it, because we're not into this, oh, bigger than myself. No, because there's nothing bigger than yourself. That's why we don't use it. If this is the definition, that I don't like that definition, throw it out. Fucking, I'm not spiritual then. I am not, there's nothing bigger than myself. I am the universe. I am the multiverse. That's the Buddhist concept. We are the world. We are the universe. We are the fucking multiverse. We are everything. So, well, there's nothing bigger than us. So that's why we're not spiritual, maybe. I don't fucking know. I never thought about it until today, until I read the definition. Why I didn't like that word. In Access, you never hear this spiritual. They always say, your eyes get rolled if you hear this. I'm spiritual. The founder of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, he always says these new age spirituality people, he can't stand them anyway. It's because he is one of them. No, he was one of them. You can't resist and react to, this is what Access Consciousness teaches. You can't resist or react to something unless you've first aligned and agreed with it. So he had to align and agree with it many, many lifetimes as a spiritual guru, to now that he's reacting against it. Okay, anyway, I don't really care. I guess I'm spiritual. Fuck it. But I don't believe there's anything bigger than me, because this body is not me. This body is just one speck within me. If you know the 32 negations, which I talked about in another video, we are infinite beyond this physical form we see now in front of us. Okay, so those are the ABCs of religion. That's why I think Access is a religion. Buddhism is a religion. Soka Gakkai as a form of Buddhism is a religion. The Masons are a religion, even though this author has the main character. I don't know if it's the author's point of view or it's the main character's point of view, that because the ABCs, how he thinks that defines the ABCs of religion, somehow don't include the Freemasons. If that were true, then Judaism would not be a religion, because Judaism does not openly recruit. So that's what he tries to say. We don't openly recruit, so we're not a religion. Yes, you do openly recruit, because the main character, second main character in this book, tries to openly recruit his son to become a top Freemason, and his friend says fuck that, I don't want to be part of the Freemasons, and his son dies in a prison in Turkey because his father wouldn't save him, the Solomon family. So obviously they're recruiting. They're just not recruiting everybody. That means they're selfish. So there's selfish recruiters like these, and obviously uh, all chosen ones in the religion called Judaism, who are Jewish. They recruit their sons and daughters to be fucking Jewish. Whether their sons and daughters want to be Jewish or not, I don't know, because I've never met many Jewish people. I did have a few Jewish people that were my leaders in the Soka Gakkai, but they never talked about Judaism, so I don't really know anything about Judaism until I had a freaking lady who worked with me who had to like talk about Jewish religion every 5 seconds, and she was a comedian, and she was always making comedy jokes. She's like, you know the difference between a Jewish person and a... She would just go on and on and on. The one joke I can remember, she always said, what's the most famous Jewish wine on the East Coast? And I would say, I don't know. She would say, I want to go to Florida. Anyway, that was I can't even remember her name. She went to a party and she was smoking marijuana in my bathroom at Soka University, and my 18-year-old roommate, I was 30. How old was I? 31? I was 31, and my 18-year-old roommate, Koichi Yoshikawa, comes fucking home to his dorm room, and he fucking opens up his bathroom, and there's this fat Jewish lady. She was like 40, 50 something. I don't remember her name. And she's fucking smoking marijuana with this other Chinese guy. And he's like, what the fuck's going on in my fucking dorm room? I was laughing so hard. I love to fuck with him. I still love to fuck with him because he's all into scientism. He thinks he's not a fucking believer of scientism, but he fucking believes in scientism. That's why he won't fucking refriend me on Facebook, because he knows I'll challenge everything he says about scientism. Anyway, science is a religion too. It assures, it believes, and it converts. Yes, it does. Okay, so let's look at what current science is a religion. It assures salvation, yes. It assures that if we can figure out everything, how to stop global warming, how we can create machines that stop this and stop that, we're going to be saved as a planet. No, it's you fucking stupid scientism fucking freaks that are fucking up the environment. If you stop fucking creating shit. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, they think they're going to save everybody by creating fucking more machines, more fucking technology, and more fucking... If we can fucking figure out how to splice this and that and create a thing that protects us from viruses and stuff, and the virus just says, fuck you, dude, I'll fucking out-create anything you fucking create because I'm fucking consciousness. And you fucking stupid scientists, fucking geeks, don't know fucking anything about consciousness because you're fucking sleepwalking zombies. That's what I think about science people, fucking white coat people. Anyway, if any white coat people are watching this, sorry, take me away in your fucking white coat. Okay, so you're a religion, you assure, you have a belief. Yes, you believe that there's threefold reality. There's physical reality, there's nature, and there's entity. It's called honoze so, noze sho, noze tai. You think appearance is all there fucking is. Only if you can see it in the fucking microscope and you can fucking prove it based on fucking mathematical laws and everything, then it exists. So that's your belief system. It's a fucking limited belief system, and it's fucking stupid belief system, but it is a belief system. Okay, so you have a belief system. It's a theology of bullshit. It's all the cataloged crap from your universities. Uni means one thought. We only believe in one aspect of reality called physical reality, even though there's three folds of reality. We don't want to know about the other folds of reality because they don't exist unless they can be proven in a fucking scientific lab. Anyway, I hate fucking scientism. Okay, convert. Yes, they convert everyone. They try to go around the world and say, we have the fucking technology to fucking save you, and we have the frickin' genetic modified fucking organisms that'll go in and fucking save you from your fucking plagues that are fucking you over because you're choosing not to be consciousness. You're choosing not to be the consciousness you truly be. That would be the algorithmic interrupt that would fuck with all anything that would try to kill you. So I'm going off on a lot of tangents, so might as well, since I'm killing scientism in one of the, like one rock kills 7 birds. I don't know how many birds I'm killing. Now I'm going to go off on this Soka Gakkai versus, because I'm giving 2 talks. I'm on my 3rd talk on, and hopefully I won't be as sick as I am now. I'm still getting over the flu, so I'm still not feeling totally up to it. Talking so deeply, I'm going off on a lot of tangents. When I talk on the radio, I'm more focused on what I'm talking about. I won't go off on so many tangents. If you go back and watch my YouTube videos when I was on this show, and I can't remember the name of the show now, but it's one of the greatest scientist shows. And actually, the guy is not in the cult of scientism, but he believes in the goods of science. There's the goods of every religion too. I believe in the goods of scientists. I just don't believe the people who believe it as if it's true are meant to be followed, because they are cultish people. They are in a cult called scientism. Anyway, I'm going to be interviewed about the differences and similarities between access consciousness and what I call true Buddhism, or what Nichiren Daishonin, or what the historical Buddha called true Buddhism, because he said everything prior to the Lotus Sutra was not the truth, and now I'm ready to reveal the truth. So the only true Buddhism was the threefold Lotus Sutra and the last sutra. Whoa. I didn't bring my water. I'm getting dry. Talking too much. Or maybe every time I'm going off on the last thing that my body doesn't want to talk about, or the universe doesn't want me to talk about, maybe I need to stop. Yes, I need to stop. So that's going to be to be continued. I'm going to make a video about the differences and similarities between access consciousness. I've already done a lot of them, but what I'm going to talk about is this new concept that I realized I've had the awareness of, that Soka Gakkai is access consciousness for humans, and access consciousness is Soka Gakkai for humanoids. So they're practicing and teaching the same thing. They're just teaching it in a different way, because humans understand only a certain way to understand things, and humanoids understand it much differently. So the first founder of Soka Gakkai was a human. His name was Tsunetsu Buro Makaguchi. And the second founder, I told you I wasn't going to talk about it. Now I'm already fucking talking about it. I'm telling you what I'm going to talk about in the future, and already telling you what I'm talking about. God, I love how I get around my. Should I go on? Yeah, okay. I'm getting. It's time to go on. Maybe enough people clicked stop on the video. So the second president of the Soka Gakkai, he was a total fucking oddball. He was drunk all the time. He at the lectures of Makiguchi, he would sit outside smoking, and he would make jokes with other people, and he was always the guy who he followed Makiguchi, but he didn't really freaking have a foundation in the Gosho or anything like that, because he was just kind of a party guy. But anyway, he had to go to prison to finally, and the fucking Lotus Sutra kept coming back to him every time he sent it away. It would come back to him somehow, until he finally read it enough times where he realized that the 32 negations, so it's not in the Lotus Sutra, it's the Nirvana Sutra. He read in the Nirvana Sutra that the 32 negations were life itself, which I don't know how difficult it is to understand that, because just reading the Gosho, you understand that the law of life is life itself. The Myoho is life itself, because he says the Gohonzon is your 4-foot body, so of course the Gohonzon is life itself. It's your life. So I don't know how it took. He was a hard-headed humanoid, but he was definitely a humanoid. And after getting out of prison and building the Soka Gakkai incredibly big before he died, he was still drinking sake, doing his Gosho lectures, and he was making jokes like, who would want to go into heaven because there's no women and booze in heaven. You would never get Makiguchi ever doing something like that at a meeting, or Daisaku Ikeda. Makiguchi didn't like alcohol. Daisaku Ikeda doesn't like alcohol. Daisaku Ikeda almost never makes sexual innuendos about anything. He's super human. So humans have... Gosh, should I go on and on about this? They were human. That's why Soka Gakkai now is geared towards humans. That's why a lot of us humanoids find it's not as appealing as it used to be when we thought we were humans. Now that we're becoming to the conclusion we're not really humans, we've been trying to fix ourselves in the human box of this reality. We're finding other things like access consciousness or other things, because it's too watered down, their approach to things. Like I remember Victory Over Violence, I had a real problem with it, because it was just so feel good, meaningless phraseology and stuff. It was not If we were talking about victory over violence, we should be talking about at the time when victory over violence was happening, our government was the largest purveyor of violence on the planet, and it was fucking up this Federal Republic of Yugoslavia by bombing the fuck out of everything. At the same time that it was bombing every weekend civilian targets all over Iraq, and this was back in the, I forget when it was, the late 90s, and it was not declared war against Iraq at the time, and it was never published in the media. Anyway, I made another video about that, so I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, us humanoids who were willing to stand up against stuff like that, we were criticized by the humans who would like, no, humans just want everything to go peaceful, and let's all get along, let's kumbaya, we don't want to be too radical and everything like that. But even though I would say that Daisaku Ikeda is a human, he has a lot of humanoid tendencies because his mentor was a humanoid. But I believe his mentor now is the founder of Access Consciousness, which I'm going to make another video about that. I already think I did talk more about why I believe, well, I don't believe that, I perceive that, and I know that. That's the knowing that I'm willing to have right now. I may be wrong, but who knows? I may not be wrong. Anyway, he is teaching the second Sogogakai president, Josei Toda, now I believe was reincarnated as a walk-in who took over Gary's body before Gary founded Access Consciousness, is teaching Buddhism in a way that humanoids can fully fathom, because I don't think many humanoids are going to be too turned on going to Sogogakai meetings and just chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, even though I still chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo and I still go to Sogogakai meetings. I can live in the human world and the humanoid world both fine, and just let's have dialogue and soft power and all that stuff. It sounds good, but humanoids are more into like this fucking let's get to the core of fucking reality and just fucking smash it down and bust it out and fucking, anyway, that's more the Access Conscious. Let's just destroy causal reality. So the founder of Buddhism, also known as Siddhartha, also known as Gautama, also known as Shakyamuni, he took on all the epitaphs of all the other gods of India, and one of them was Shiva, the destroyer of worlds. So I do believe that destroying worlds is a good thing if it's a false world, which is the world of causal reality, which is what Access Consciousness is destroying. So I think Gary Douglas is the greatest manifestation of the destroyer of worlds, otherwise known as Shiva, otherwise known as Shakyamuni, because Shakyamuni says, I am Shiva. I am all the gods of India rolled into one, and I'm the teacher of all gods in India and all across the planet and the universe, because I am everything. I am you. No, that was John Lennon. I am he as you are me, and we are all together. We are all oneness. That's what Access Consciousness teaches. That's what Buddhism teaches. It's the same fucking thing. It's just taught in a different way for different people. And I agree with both of them. So I have two religions, but it's the same religion. It's just taught two different ways. I'm going to talk more about that on my radio show. No, my radio interview. I think it's December. No, we're already past December. Now it's January. I've been sick for 4 days, so I can't remember what month it is anymore. February 22nd. No, February 21st is when I'll be back on the show. And I'm trying to remember the name of the fucking show. It's a if you go on my TV show, TV interviews and radio interviews playlist, you'll see last time I talked on the show, I was interviewed about past life regression, and I talked extensively about that because I've been past life regression. That's wrong. I talked about quantum leaping. I talked about out of body experience. I talked about I still have a headache and I'm all stuffed up, so my mind's not working as fast as I would like to do it. Actually, I'm trying to get out of my mind and it's stuffed up, so I'm using my mind, which is if you're thinking, you're stinking. The mind is a terrible thing, so waste it. Okay, there it goes. My mind's gone. Now I can actually talk to you what I perceive and know and be and receive, which is I spoke about astral projection. That's what I spoke about, and lucid dreaming. So what generative energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to be totally out of control, out of form, out of limitation, out of concentricity, out of linearity, out of definition? I think I said that one twice. Out of limitations, out of beliefs, for all eternity. Anything that would allow that times a bazillion, I destroy and uncreate it, all right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and pock, shorts, boys, beyond, nami, hoda, geikyo, ho, pona, pona, whatever other clearing you want to throw at it, bam, it's gone. Now I can speak to you. No, I can't recall what the show's called. But anyway, it's a science show. And I went off way... And the great thing is the host is the most incredible host I've ever been interviewed by. He always knows 1,000 books of everything I talk about. When I go off on a tangent, he fucking goes off on the tangent with me. He doesn't try to stop me from going off on a tangent. But we pretty much always come back, steer back to the main topic. And this time, the main topic is not going to be about... The first time I talked about energy healing. The second time I can't remember. I think this is going to be my 4th time on the show. And I'm still trying to remember the name of the show. I can't remember. But anyway, go look up my playlist and you'll see it where I spoke on there. But I'm going to be back on the 21st. I'm going to post it on my Facebook. I'm going to make a Facebook invite and everything like that. So just, I'm going to be on also another radio show in England or somewhere in Europe. And I can't remember where in Europe. Some time in February. So friend me on Facebook if you want to know about that, because you're going to be interested in that show too. I think I'm going to be talking about the same subject maybe. Okay, peace out. Love you all. And it's been a wild ride, hasn't it? Okay, John A.